Hey everybody, my name is Justin Cox and welcome to my SPED talk for this week. This week I just wanted to talk about something that I have used recently and I thought might be useful to you guys as well. It's something that I found through my internship that I'm doing, and I just figured that you guys might be interested in possibly using this in the future for your websites. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is called Apache Jmeter. So basically what it is just an open source software that you can use for testing web applications, specifically for load testing. So with this, you can actually specify how many people you want to access a certain site, and then you can get the results from that test that you create, and it tells you things like latency, how long it took for them to connect, just little tidbits of information like that. Now, Jmeter, there's a lot that you can do with it. It was originally designed for web applications, but now, as you can see underneath the section, what can I do with it, there's actually a lot more features that are now a part of Apache Jmeter. So for this example, and since I only have 5 minutes, I just want to really just do something really simple that'll show you kind of a little bit of what you can do with Apache Jmeter. So to download it it's really quick. You just go to download releases over here on the left, and then you can I downloaded the binary Apache Jmeter version 5.1.1. Immediately you need to make sure that you have the correct Java version for whichever one that you select, and to check that is really easy. You just go to your command prompt, type in java-version, and then you can see that I have Java version 10.0.1, which is sufficient to run Apache Jmeter 5.1.1. So once it's downloaded, you just need to navigate to where you downloaded it at, and then click on it, go to the bin file, and then here you'll see the Apache Jmeter executable jar file, and then you're just going to click on that. You're just going to load it up, and it's going to look like this. So very quickly over here on the left is where we're going to specify our test plan and everything that we want with it. And then over here on the right is going to be the details, exactly how many people we want to load test our site with, things like that. So let's just go ahead and create one really quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this just a test plan. Test plan is fine. And what I want to do is I want to right click and I want to add some threads or users. I'm going to click on thread group. What this is going to do is it's going to allow me to specify right here how many people I actually want to load test a certain site with. And so you can do 1, you can do 10, you can do 100, you can do way more than that if you want to for this. I'm just going to do 100 people. And then you can also see under there's a couple of other properties. There's the ramp up period. Right now it's set to 1, which means that we're just going to, in 1 second, we're just going to throw all 100 users at this site. And then you can change it to 30 seconds. So over the course of 30 seconds, gradually up to 100 people will get on the site. And then you can also do a loop count. So you can do it multiple times if you wanted to. But I'm just going to leave everything the same except for how many threads or users. I'm just going to call this users just to kind of help us understand exactly what this is. And now we need to tell our users which site we want them to access. And so for this, I'm going to go to add. I'm going to add a sampler. I'm going to do an HTTP request. And let's just go ahead. I'm just going to do BYUIs. And then in the server name, you can put the URL. So I'm going to do BYUI.edu. And we don't need to put the HTTP before that because that's already there by default over here under the web server. And that's all that we need here. We don't need to add anything else. And then we're going to want to also see the results of what we want. So for that, I'm going to right click on the HTTP request called BYUI. I'm going to add, I'm going to come down here to a listener because that's what we want. That's going to keep track or grab all the results. And I'm going to click on view results in a table. And that's all that I need to do for that. So now we have our test plan. We have our 100 users. We have the site that we want to access, that we want to load test, and then we have where the results are going to be posted once we're done with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this. I'm going to go ahead and save this inside of my Apache Jmeter where I have it stored. And I'm just going to go ahead and call this just a simple, just a load test. I'm going to save it there. And now whenever we're ready, we can go ahead and hit this green play button. So I'm going to hit the green button. And as you can see, it's just going to go through this real quick because we specified over a second. So in a second, we threw on all 100 of our users. And you can see here as you go through, this is when they started. This is how many users we had at the time. This is the test that they went to, so BYUI, the one that we created. And that's kind of how long it took them total to go to the site, and then the status. So all of them were successfully able to connect to the site where we wanted them to go to, and then kind of the latency that we have as well. So there's a couple of other things. And so, I mean, if we wanted to do another site, for example, we could just right click on users again. For 100 users, we also want them to go to another, we're gonna do another HTTP request. And I mean, we could do something, we could do Google. And again, this is all just for example. You can actually just put in your own site as well if you have it hosted somewhere. So I'm just gonna keep it as Google. And then for this one, we're also gonna have to add its own individual listener. And I'm gonna do view results and table again. And that's all that we have to do for that. So we can just go ahead and save. And then I'm gonna come back over here, make sure everything is cleared out. And then we can just hit the play button. And it's gonna take our 100 users, and it's gonna go through the Google site, and it's also going to go through the BYUI one that we create. And again, this is very simple, what you can do with Apache Jmeter. You can do a lot more powerful stuff when you use the actual command line. But for the sake of these 5 minutes, I just want to just quickly give you guys a brief example of what Jmeter can do. And it can really help you figure out whether or not your site can really handle the amount of users that you're expecting. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned something. And you guys have a great week. Thank you for watching.